So first of all, associated with your payments integration, there are two iFlows, one for the payment order, which is your payments going from SAP to Kyriba. The other one is your payment status. This is the one that retrieves the final acknowledgements from Kyriba and updates the status in SAP. So first of all, when I run a payment, you're going to see a status in your payment order monitor in SAP that it's been sent to middleware. Once it is in CPI, what you will see or should see is first, you're going to have two logs, one for the reference IDOC, and then you're going to have logs for each payment IDOC that comes in. In my case, there's only one in this example. These are just the incoming documents themselves. There's no processing. The log for the processing and send to Kyriba happens after that. And you're going to be looking for an item where the duration is longer, usually in a matter of seconds. Note that there is a possible delay. This process runs every 5 minutes. So if you don't see it right away, wait until the 5-minute mark and it should come up. So what you see in here are multiple attachments. So you're going to see the collected IDOCs. You're going to see the payment file that was sent to Kyriba. And you're also going to see the response from Kyriba and the payment status that is sent back to update in SAP. So the main items that you're interested in here is, first of all, is your response. This is going to give you the response message that was received back from the API call. So in most cases, this would be a 200. You're going to have a success. Or in this case, it has a warning message. Warning message is okay. What that means is the file was sent to Kyriba, as it says in here. It was successfully imported. However, there was a record or more that failed integration in Kyriba. So that's something that your person responsible for the Kyriba application side of things will need to go into the logs and review to see what the issue is. You're also going to have some additional information in here related to the run of the program. So if you ever do have any issues, please include this message with your support ticket. The other item is your payment file itself. So here you can see the payment that was sent, or the payments in your case that were sent to Kyriba. So also this is good to use for troubleshooting. If needed, you can validate the content. The payment status proxy. This is what is sent back actually in the last step of the process to SAP. So once a file has been sent to Kyriba, the status in your payment order monitor is going to be updated to send to Kyriba. And this is what you want to see in here. There are a few different statuses. If this said the payment order status is in sent to middleware and it hasn't moved from there, that means that something failed in CPI. What you need to do in this case is go into CPI and look in your logs. First of all, you want to look in your Data Hub response log to see what is the message I got back from Kyriba. Was there an issue? The other thing is you may have an internal issue, and you can see it in your logs. In this case, I didn't have an issue, everything is looking fine, completed, but usually you'll then have an error message stating that there is something wrong and you will need to troubleshoot that in CPI. In most cases, it's an issue with the connection back to your cloud connector, and you may need to review that connectivity setup and the setup in Cloud Connector itself. One important thing I want to note here is that you want to monitor the status in your payment order monitor. So the other flow that you're interested in is the payment status flow. This runs separately on a schedule that you set up on a set frequency. This is the one that retrieves the final acknowledgement statuses back from Kyriba and sends it to SAP. In this process, you're going to have the CSV file that is returned with the acknowledgements back from Kyriba. So you can see all of the records in here that are returned. On a successful run, this is what you would see, and you're not really going to see any other messaging back from Kyriba. This is the content. Now, if you do have a failure, what you want to do is you want to look at the response body. This is going to give you the error that was returned from the API. And you want to make sure to include this with any support ticket to Kyriba. If this is an internal issue, then you're going to have your logs and you're going to need to troubleshoot within CPI what the issue could be. Most generally, if it's not an authorization issue with Kyriba, the error you're going to see in here is again an issue with your connectivity back to the cloud connector. And you may see that status. Usually you'll see an error in the first payment status message. You're going to see a lot in the log here. You're going to see the error message displayed. And once again, back in the Kyriba payment order monitor, once the payment status update has been executed, you're going to see an update in the status to bank processed and executed, or it could be a rejected message in here. If your payments are stuck in a status of sent to Kyriba and you expect that this the update was received in from the bank and should be back in SAP, then you need to go back and look in CPI in your logs to see if the files were received successfully, and if so, you can look at the contents to look for the specific payment document themselves. So you have your payment document number, so this one right here, you can find that in the contents of your file in the first field. So this first field is the concatenation of your company ID, and then you would have your document number in here and your fiscal year. So if you need to go to determine if the record was included, look in the first field for that number.